Oh, Jesus Christ. Imagine your phone suddenly buzzed. Bank alert. Plus $1,000. $1 trillion has just landed in your account.
What?
But there's one catch. You have just 24 hours to spend every single dollar. Miss the deadline, and every cent disappears forever.
You think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
What would you buy? Thousands of the world's most expensive mansions? A luxury of private jets waiting for you across every continent? Every Bugatti, every Ferrari, every Lamborghini, every Rolls-Royce, every Pagani, and virtually every ultra-luxury supercar ever built. Private islands, gigantic superyachts, priceless works of art that money can barely buy. Even entire billion-dollar companies? You could spend more money in a single day than most people could spend in hundreds of lifetimes, and still have billions left over. Now stop for a second. Really think about that number. $1 trillion. A fortune so unimaginably large it could fund governments, reshape entire industries, accelerate space exploration, and build one of the greatest business empires in human history. Now imagine someone getting closer and closer and closer to becoming the richest person in human history. That man is Elon Musk. He's already one of the richest people in history, and many believe he has the greatest chance of becoming the world's first trillionaire.
Yes! This is what victory feels like. Yeah!
So how does the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, xAI, Neuralink, and the Boring Company actually live? What does he drive? Where does he sleep? How does he travel? And what does a fortune this enormous really look like? Today, we're diving deep into Elon Musk's unbelievable lifestyle. From his jaw-dropping luxury homes, to his incredible car collection, his private jets, his billion-dollar companies, and the fortune that's helping shape the future of humanity. You won't believe just how extraordinary his life really is. But before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with someone who loves luxury lifestyles and billionaire success stories. And now, let's begin. Elon Musk's homes. When you think of the world's richest people, you probably imagine enormous palaces, golden gates, private beaches, helicopter landing pads, and mansions so massive they look like five-star luxury resorts. But Elon Musk is completely different. Today, Elon Musk's personal real estate empire is valued at almost zero.
What?
Yes, you heard that right. A man whose fortune has at times pushed toward the trillion-dollar mark owns virtually no personal residential real estate. In 2020, Musk shocked the world by announcing that he wanted to own no house.
That is not the case. In fact, I don't even own a home right now. I'm literally staying at friends' places. If I travel to the Bay Area, where most of Tesla engineering.
And unlike most billionaire promises, he actually followed through. One by one, he sold almost every luxury mansion he owned before making that decision. Elon Musk's personal real estate portfolio was worth between $100 million and $137 million. It included 7 incredible California properties, some of the most luxurious homes money could buy. 6 of those homes were located in the ultra-exclusive Bel Air neighborhood of Los Angeles, where celebrities, billionaires, and business moguls own some of America's most expensive real estate. His largest Bel Air mansion measured an astonishing 20,248 square feet, complete with 7 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, a private movie theater, a wine cellar, a fully equipped gym, a beautiful swimming pool, and breathtaking views stretching across Los Angeles.
How he handles the stress. I mean, if I was him, I'd have died of a heart attack. You would not wish that kind of pain on your worst enemy. Elon proposed really quickly.
The estate eventually sold for $29.7 million. But that wasn't his only impressive property. Musk also owned the famous Gene Wilder estate, a charming 2,800 square foot home once owned by the legendary Hollywood actor. He later sold the property. Although after the buyers defaulted on their loan, a trust linked to Musk bought it back for approximately $7.6 million in early 2025. He also owned the spectacular Hillsborough estate, a historic 47-acre Silicon Valley property known as Guignaucourt. That magnificent estate later sold for around $40.8 million. In total, Musk walked away from a personal real estate empire worth well over $100 million. So where does one of the richest men on earth live today?
These bitch ass, dick in the boot ass, fuck ass niggas. Boss.
Believe it or not in a mega mansion, not in a billion-dollar penthouse, not inside a private island estate. Instead, his primary residence is a prefabricated tiny home worth around $50,000. The house measures only about 400 square feet, and it's located near SpaceX's Starbase facility in Boca Chica, Texas. Even more surprising, he doesn't even own it. He reportedly rents the tiny home from SpaceX.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
But don't let that fool you. Think Elon Musk gave up real estate? Not even close. He simply moved it from his personal life to his companies. Through SpaceX, Tesla, and The Boring Company, his businesses control more than 6,000 acres of land across Texas. Those properties include massive factories, rocket launch facilities, commercial developments, engineering campuses, research centers, and thousands of acres reserved for future expansion. Altogether, his corporate real estate holdings in Texas alone are estimated to be worth more than $3.4 billion. So while Elon Musk may have given up living in giant mansions, his companies still control one of the most valuable real estate portfolios in America. But we're only getting started, because if you think Elon Musk's homes are surprising, wait until you see what's sitting inside his garages. His car collection tells a completely different story. Elon Musk's car collection. For a man who chose to live in a tiny house, you'd expect his garage to be ordinary. But this is Elon Musk. Nothing about his life is ordinary. Over the years, his garage has been filled with machines worth tens of millions of dollars. Some are worth more than luxury mansions. One became the star of one of the most famous supercar crashes in history. Another was driven by James Bond. And one humble BMW reminds us that even the richest man on earth started with almost nothing.
What?
Let's begin with the crown jewel, the McLaren F1. Not just a supercar, but a machine many experts still consider the greatest road car ever built. Powered by a naturally aspirated 6.1-liter BMW V12 producing 627 horsepower, it could reach an astonishing top speed of 240 miles per hour, making it the fastest production car on Earth during its time. Today, collectors are willing to pay more than $20 million for a pristine example. Back in 2000, fresh from selling Zip 2, Elon Musk rewarded himself with the dream car he'd always wanted. It was fast. It was rare, and it represented everything he believed engineering could achieve. But just 2 years later, everything changed. While taking a friend for a ride, Musk pressed the accelerator. The rear tires suddenly lost grip. The McLaren spun violently, slid off the road, hit an embankment, launched into the air, and crashed spectacularly. The car was left heavily damaged, a machine that today would be worth well over $20 million. Remarkably, neither Musk nor his passengers suffered serious injuries. The accident instantly became one of the most talked about supercar crashes in automotive history. But the McLaren wasn't the only masterpiece in his garage. He also owned the legendary Jaguar E-Type Series 1 Roadster, a British icon that Enzo Ferrari himself once called the most beautiful car ever made, with its endless bonnet, elegant curves, and timeless design. The E-Type became one of the greatest automotive masterpieces ever created. Even today, collectors pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to own a well-preserved example. Then came something even more extraordinary, the Lotus Esprit Turbo. Not just any Lotus, but the actual James Bond movie car from The Spy Who Loved Me. The very car that transformed into a submarine on the big screen. When it appeared at auction, Musk couldn't resist. He bought the legendary film prop for nearly $1 million. Because to him, it wasn't simply a sports car, it was a priceless piece of movie history. Ironically, one of the most meaningful cars he ever owned wasn't expensive at all. It was a humble BMW 320i, one of the very first cars he purchased as a young entrepreneur. Long before Tesla, before SpaceX, before rockets, before billions of dollars, before becoming one of the richest people on Earth. That old BMW wasn't glamorous. It often had problems. But every billionaire has an origin story, and that simple car carried the ambition that would one day change the automobile industry, the space industry, and perhaps even humanity's future. Fast forward to today, and Elon Musk's garage looks completely different. Instead of filling it with Ferraris, Lamborghinis, or Bugattis, he spends most of his time driving the machines created by his own company. The lightning-fast Tesla Model S Plaid, the futuristic Cybertruck, the luxurious Model X, and highly secret Tesla prototypes that very few people outside the company have ever seen. Unlike many billionaires, Musk doesn't collect cars just to show off. To him, every vehicle is an experiment. Every drive is a test. Every innovation is another step toward the future of transportation.
What if I told you the Cybertruck was just a warm-up? Are you ready to ride the future?
But even a garage filled with engineering masterpieces has its limits. Roads can only take Elon Musk so far. When business calls from another continent, he leaves the highway behind and takes to the skies. Waiting on the runway is an $80 million Gulfstream G700, one of the fastest, most luxurious, and most technologically advanced private jets ever built. Elon Musk's private jet cars can conquer roads, but time is something even billionaires can never buy back, unless they own one of the fastest private jets on Earth. When Elon Musk needs to travel between Tesla factories, SpaceX launch sites, government meetings, or business negotiations across continents, he doesn't wait in airport security lines. He heads straight to his private aircraft, the Gulfstream G650ER, a flying machine worth around $80 million. But calling it a private jet almost feels like an understatement. This aircraft was built for people whose time is measured in billions of dollars. Powered by two Rolls-Royce engines, the G650ER cruises at nearly 700 miles per hour, crossing oceans with ease. It can fly for more than 7,500 nautical miles without refueling.
What?
That's enough to travel from New York to Tokyo or Los Angeles to Sydney, with just one stop, or on some routes, none at all. And owning the aircraft is only part of the cost. Keeping a jet like this in the air can cost millions of dollars every year in fuel, maintenance, crew salaries, and operating expenses. Step inside, and it feels less like an aeroplane and more like a luxury penthouse in the sky. Plush hand-stitched leather seats, beautiful handcrafted wood finishes, soft ambient lighting, a fully equipped galley, private sleeping areas, and a cabin so quiet it feels more like a five-star hotel than an aircraft flying at 45,000 feet. High-speed satellite internet keeps Musk connected to his companies, even while crossing the Atlantic or the Pacific. But while most passengers spend their flight watching movies, Elon Musk is often reviewing the next Starship launch, approving updates for Tesla's newest factories, speaking with executives across multiple continents, making decisions worth billions of dollars, or discussing the future of artificial intelligence, all while flying above the clouds. Every hour saved can mean another factory inspected, another rocket launch approved, another breakthrough accelerated. For Elon Musk, this isn't a symbol of success. It's a weapon against time. Every flight gives him something money can never replace. More hours to build the future. The jet isn't simply a luxury. It's a mobile headquarters. A flying office that allows him to run multiple global companies without slowing down. And because of his demanding schedule, the aircraft spends much of the year traveling between Texas, California, Florida, Europe, and destinations around the world. Every flight is planned with precision. Every minute has a purpose. Because when you're building electric cars, launching rockets, developing artificial intelligence, and expanding satellite internet across the planet, standing still simply isn't an option. But here's what makes this even more unbelievable. The private jet, the supercars, and everything you've seen so far, together represent only a tiny fraction of Elon Musk's empire. Because the real fortune isn't parked in a garage. It isn't flying through the skies. It's hidden inside the companies that are reshaping the future of humanity. Companies worth trillions of dollars, employing hundreds of thousands of people, and generating wealth that most people can barely imagine. Now, let's step inside the business empire that made it all possible.